Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos. So more additional information to give you guys an update on in regards to Ajax's Matthias de Ligt. So now according to Sky Sports and according to quite a few other media outlets, that reportedly Manchester United have ruled out a move for Matthias de Ligt. Basically, this is nothing to do, with Barcelona out-muscling Manchester United. This is basically nothing to do with, Matthias de Ligt saying a no to an Old Trafford move. It's just basically said that Manchester United have ruled out a move for Matthias de Ligt. And we do basically know at least in the last couple of days, there has been a lot of positive news, regarding, Matthias de Ligt to Manchester United. And obviously, the headlines had broke out yesterday, saying that Manchester United, were very close to signing Matthias de Ligt. And actually, this was coming from the very reliable Spanish journalist, Gerard Romero. He basically indicated that Manchester United are very close to signing Matthias de Ligt. But we do potentially know that there has been quite a number of clubs, that have inquired about his services. Obviously, Barcelona have inquired about his services. Manchester United have inquired about his services. City have inquired about his services because obviously Manchester City are in the market looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. And like I said, Liverpool have also, inquired about his services. But we do know at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy, to get the current player's signature. But potentially, Manchester United have reportedly, come up with an improved contract offer. And I think, as reports have suggested out today, that reportedly, de Ligt has currently told his agent Raiola he is willing to accept Manchester United's contract offer, because I think it did say that we're willing to offer him around up to £350,000 a week. And reportedly, this is a figure that Barcelona were not willing to currently meet. But basically, I think it still says that Barcelona are in talks, with de Ligt and his agent Raiola, of course, over getting a deal over the line. It did say basically Barcelona are reluctant to increase their offer. So I think it's basically said that de Ligt's demanding more money. His agent Raiola is demanding more money. It also mentioned that Manchester United put a bid in for him of around £70 million, as I said, because I think this is what is initially rated at is Matthias de Ligt. It came out quite a few weeks ago as well, saying that Manchester United had offered him around a £12 million a year contract, but reportedly, Matthias de Ligt had currently turned this down. So Barcelona are still in negotiations of getting a deal over the line for Matthias de Ligt. But now reportedly Manchester United have pulled him out of the race, because I think some of the Manchester United heresy, do believe he's intending on making the move to Barcelona. So I still say now that Barcelona are a monster favourites to currently get a deal over the line for the player. And I think it came out last week, saying that, Matthias de Ligt had currently made an admission, and that he was basically intending on making the move to Barcelona. It actually reported this from Sky Sports the other week, of course. But I think the main reason why he does basically want to join Barcelona, because obviously he wants to reunite with his current teammate Frankie de Jong. But potentially we do know that Manchester United, of course, have got to get a couple of central defenders in, because that's one of the priority areas where Manchester United have got to strengthen up. And like I said, de Ligt, would be the right solution for Manchester United. Of course, only 19 years of age, has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, of course, a lot of development in him, and so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. We do definitely know he's going to be leaving Ajax, is Matthias de Ligt, but we're still unsure where he will be applying his trade next season. But he can leave Ajax, with his head held up high, of course, captaining them, to their domestic double for the first time in 17 years, winning the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years, and of course progressing to the Champions League semi-final. So Matthias de Ligt, has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. Obviously, I think he made his senior debut at just the age of 16, did Matthias de Ligt. So he's had 3 years worth of experience in their senior squad. Of course, the only defender as well, to win the current Golden Boy award. And I think he became more of a first team star, did Matthias de Ligt. And of course, when Davinson Sanchez, left Ajax, back in 2017 for Tottenham. But I do really like him, as I said, only 19 years of age. Obviously, he would fit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, because obviously, he wants to recommend, young players to come this summer as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. But Matthias de Ligt's 19 years of age. But like I said, if he comes to the Premier League and that, it will take his career to the next level, of course. But I do really like him indeed. But now, according to Sky Sports, Manchester United now have pulled out of the race for Matthias de Ligt. So now Barcelona do continue negotiation. So I probably still believe that he's going to be end up, making the move to Barcelona's Matthias de Ligt. But reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, Edwin van der Sar would come out, CEO of Ajax, and he basically said that he thinks that, de Ligt will either, make the move to England or Spain, of course. So that's where he'll probably, end up going. But I think, you know, his agent Raiola and De Ligt are demanding more money off Barcelona, but Barcelona are reportedly not willing to increase their offer. But as I said, we've got the financial power, you know, to meet De Ligt's, you know, valuation and all that, because obviously we've offered him a big, massive contract. But I think now Manchester United have pulled out of the race for the player. So according to recent reports, we are now set to miss out on Matthias De Ligt, of course. But like I said, I thought there was some credibility in these stories, you know, linking De Ligt with a move to Manchester United, especially when it's coming there from a very reliable Spanish journalist, you know, saying that Manchester United are very close to signing, you know, Matthias De Ligt. But obviously there was no initial agreement or anything. So you know what I mean, guys. So you know, but I thought it was a credibility, of course. But yeah. So we'll look set to miss out on Matthias De Ligt now. And as he updated you earlier on, you know, about the news about Koulibaly from Napoli as well. You know, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, for a very, very long time as Koulibaly. Manchester United now are set to miss out on Koulibaly though, because reportedly Napoli said they want around £150 million, of course. Obviously, you know, Manchester United are reluctant, you know, to pay up to the £150 million for Koulibaly. Obviously, reports came out from Italy, was it last week, you know, saying that Manchester United had around the £95 million bid turned down for him. Also on Friday, I think Real Madrid had a £90 million bid turned down for him, because obviously, as we all do know, Real Madrid have also, you know, inquired about his services. But I really, really like Koulibaly, of course. I do really like him, you know, nearly 28 years of age, highly experienced. Obviously, you know, the rumours have continued to position, you know, linking Koulibaly with a move to Old Trafford, you know, since basically, you know, last summer. Because obviously the process, you know, started under Jose Mourinho, because obviously it was one of Jose Mourinho's targets, you know, was Koulibaly. But obviously, like I said, we didn't get as priority targets last summer, because obviously, you know, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in, and of course, and obviously, you know, our priority was to get a centre back in. But I think last year Manchester United had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly. I think also a £95 million bid was turned down for him last year. But most recently, you know, Carlo Ancelotti has regarded him as one of the best centre backs in the world, and I do believe he's one of the best in the world. Is Koulibaly. But reportedly now it does say Napoli are demanding that they want around £150 million for him if they are willing to do any business. And obviously, you know, the most expensive defender in the world at the moment is obviously Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. What cost Liverpool £75 million. So basically, a team is going to have to pay double that to currently get to have any chance of getting a deal over the line for Koulibaly, of course. So now I think Manchester United are set to miss out on him now. So we have turned our intentions more on Benfica's Ruben Diaz. Now I updated you about Ruben Diaz earlier on. Like I said, I don't really know much about him. I think Manchester United have inquired about his services a couple of times in the past. But looking at it from a financial point of view, you know, Ruben Diaz is a much cheaper alternative than Koulibaly. Obviously, as well, he'll fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. You know, he's only 22 years of age. He's only very, very young. He's actually about 6 years younger than Koulibaly. Is Ruben Diaz. So far, spent the majority of his career with Benfica. I think the quoted fee is around £60 million that Benfica would demand if they were willing to do any business, you know, with Ruben Diaz. So now, reportedly, we have turned our intentions now on Ruben Diaz, of course, because we are set to miss out on Koulibaly. So that is the latest news on that. But like I said, I think we need 2 central defenders, of course. You know, we need someone that can go alongside Vitz Lindelof. But vast majority of Manchester United fans have said, you know, basically we need 2 central defenders, because obviously, you know, we have got problems defensively. Give you an update about Leicester City's Harry Maguire. Of course, you know, he has been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation, of course. Obviously, you know, Manchester United or Manchester City, you know, would have to break the world transfer record to try and get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire, because the £90 million is the quoted fee, and this is what Leicester are demanding, you know, if they are willing to do any business with Harry Maguire. But I think Man United and Manchester City, you know, would be reluctant to pay up to £90 million for Harry Maguire. And I don't even think he's worth £90 million to be quite honest. You know, he's not a Koulibaly, he's not a Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, he's not a Rafael Varane. I still think he's a really, really good player, but I don't think he's worth £90 million Harry Maguire. Now, obviously, Harry Maguire last summer signed a new contract with Leicester, so he's under contract with Leicester till 2023. Obviously, reports were coming coming out last week, saying that Manchester City had identified, Harry Maguire as their number one target, to currently replace Vincent Kompany. Again, Manchester United were heavily linked to Harry Maguire last summer. Looking at it from a financial point of view, and from a Leicester perspective, if anyone willing to pay £9 million for him, Leicester would make a massive profit on the player. But I can't see Man United or Manchester City, willing to pay £90 million for Harry Maguire, because in my own personal opinion, I don't think he's worth £90 million. I think Leicester got him from Hull City for around, was it £17 million or something like that. He's still in his prime, he's Harry Maguire. He's 26 years of age. He's Premier League proven. He has still got him a lot of years ahead of him. And maybe Harry Maguire himself, maybe thinking about taking his career to the next level. Maybe go to a team that's competitive, go to a team that can win trophies. And obviously, Manchester City, would be the better, would be the more attractive option for Harry Maguire than Manchester United. But I can't see Manchester United and Manchester City, willing to pay £90 million for Harry Maguire. So that is the latest news on that, to give you an update on that. As I updated you earlier on with what was going on with Paul Pogba as well. So now, recent reports do currently say that Juventus are interested in re-signing Paul Pogba, and it basically does say that Juventus are willing to offer Paulo Dybala and Alex Sandro in a swap deal with Paul Pogba. So Juventus are willing to sacrifice two of their players so they can get the pursuit of Paul Pogba, of course. So potentially we do know Paul Pogba's likely destination will be currently Real Madrid, because obviously he's been on Real Madrid's agenda for a very, very long time. Obviously we know that Zinedine Zidane's emphasising his targets for this summer, but obviously his two main targets, of course, are Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard. And I'm still very, very convinced. Sorry about how I'm talking, I've got a bit of sore throat, but I think Paul Pogba's going to be leaving. I'm very convinced he's going to be leaving Manchester United, Paul Pogba. I think he does want to leave Manchester United, Paul Pogba, of course. And let's be honest, Paul Pogba hasn't really exceeded expectation levels. He hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, regarding, what he did at Juventus, because he did have 4 good years in cheering, Paul Pogba. Obviously, Manchester United paid £89 million for him, so potentially he's our most expensive player. And like I said, Manchester United have got a history of spending a big on players, especially in recent years, Pogba, as I said, 89 million. Lukaku, 75 million pounds. As I said, always spending big on players, always getting Galactico players, doesn't always guarantee you success, and doesn't always get you in that commanding position, of course, where you do currently want to be. But I still believe Paul Pogba will end up making the move to Real Madrid. But now it's saying Juventus are willing to offer two of their players, so they can currently get Paul Pogba. But we do basically know that it came out in the media, was it a couple of days ago, saying that Manchester United were willing to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband, in a bid, to convince him to stay at the club. But I don't think this is going to be enough anyway, to convince Paul Pogba to stay at the club. And I think the captaincy at Manchester United next season will be given to Ashley Young. And now it's saying Man United are only willing to offer Paul Pogba the vice captaincy role. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does want Paul Pogba, to stay at Manchester United. Initially, Manchester United don't want to sell him. I think it did say if we had to sell him, we'd want around 150 or 160 million pounds for Pogba. But obviously, Real Madrid are not willing to pay that figure for Paul Pogba. It did actually say that Paul Pogba is willing to take a pay cut, to make his dream move to Real Madrid. But obviously, Paul Pogba did pinpoint out at some time in his career he does currently want to play for Real Madrid. But I still believe we can get around 120 or 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba. He has still got 3 years left on his contract as Pogba. But we do know at least in the last 5 or 6 weeks that his agent Raiola has been in the process of finding him a new club, as you all do currently know. But obviously, Paul Pogba was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year. Obviously, he was linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he was linked to his former club Juventus last year. He was linked to a move to Barcelona last year, was Paul Pogba. Then obviously, he got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho, got shown the door. And then, since Solskjaer's come in, we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first 3 months as interim manager. And like I do keep saying, we mainly see the best of Paul. We mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, when Ander Herrera was currently playing. So that just emphasises how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, did currently make in that midfield. And I think it's bad business for Manchester United, letting Ander Herrera go on a free transfer. And I do believe that we do need a replacement for Ander Herrera. But I think Paul Pogba in his last 8 games, something like that, his performances have been way below par, and he has been so inconsistent. So I just think that just indicates that he doesn't want to be at Manchester United. Recent reports did say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba's relationship, is slowly fading. But I think maybe a couple of reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave anyway, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players. Maybe he wants to be, be up there challenging and be in Champions League football and all that. And obviously, this is something that Manchester United, of course, can not offer him. So I still believe he's going to be going Paul Pogba. But as I said, it will be beneficial, because it will help us with our rebuilding process. It will help us with our transition. As you all know, we're getting £250 million to spend, of course. Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new players to the club. I think 4 or 5 are expected, to currently leave. But like I said, we're cashing for Pogba, we're cashing for Lukaku, we're cashing for De Gea. That's going to take our spending speed to maybe over £500 million this summer. But I know it's going to be hard for us to find a replacement of Paul Pogba's calibre and level. But like I said, money we get for him, we could get 2 players there with that money. So if Paul Pogba leaves, we are currently going to need a replacement for him. But talking now about Juventus, it didn't just say if Juventus had any chances of getting him, they would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. Now, basically, I don't know if he'd be interested in making a return back to cheering, Paul Pogba. Of course, obviously, Paul Dybala, has been on Manchester United's agenda anywhere for quite some time. Reports do suggest outside that Manchester United have been in negotiations with Juventus over a month. Because obviously, we've inquired about Paul Dybala's services. Like I said about Paul Dybala, that I've got strong reservations about Paul Dybala, when it comes to some of his touches, some of his defensive abilities, really concern me. Don't get me wrong, he can score goals, and if he did come to Manchester United and score goals, whilst he was adapting other areas of his game, that would be good enough, of course, because he's still got a lot of development in him, as Dybala. He's only 24, he's only 25 years of age, or is he 26 years of age? He has demonstrated in his 4-year period with Juventus, that he can score goals and that he can lead the lines. We haven't really seen the best of Dybala this season, because obviously since the arrival of Ronaldo, he's been in and out of the squad. But there has been huge speculation that he could leave Juventus, because obviously his brother and his agent came out, Dybala's brother and agent, came out basically saying that they think that Dybala wants to leave Juventus, of course. But yeah, Manchester United have been interesting, but that's one of the players Juventus are willing to offer in the swap deal with Paul Pogba. The second one is Alex Sandro. I think has he been linked with Manchester United before, Alex Sandro, if I'm right? I think he was linked with Chelsea a couple of years ago as well, was Alex Sandro. To be quite honest with you, I don't really know much about Alex Sandro, but this is the 2 players Juventus have offered, in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. So whether Man United are willing to go along with this or not, I do not currently know. But obviously, I've been giving you an update. As well about Romelu Lukaku. Now, he's one of the players that's favourable, to leave Manchester United this summer. Romelu Lukaku. Now, as you all do know, he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation as Romelu Lukaku. Now, as we all do know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically told Romelu Lukaku he's surplus to requirements, because Lukaku has enjoyed a very difficult season, a difficult time this season with Manchester United, because obviously Rashford has been first choice ahead of him. But we do know he's destined to currently make the move to Italy, as Lukaku, as he was talking about a while back, about his dream to currently play in the Serie A. Lukaku's agent, obviously, came out as well. And he basically said, Lukaku's future is very open. And of course, Manchester United, paid £75 million for him, 15 million, well, there was add-ons of 15 million included, so it risen the deal to £90 million. He's still got 3 years left on his contract. But like I said, it will be beneficial, if Manchester United can cash in for Lukaku. Wait, let's charge his phone. But like I said, I think it will be beneficial, if Manchester United can cash in for Romelu Lukaku. So recent reports came out, as I did say a couple of days ago. It says obviously Inter Milan have expressed their interest in him. It did say Inter Milan had agreed personal terms with Lukaku. It said Inter Milan were willing to meet his £170,000 a week wage demands. But obviously no initial fee has obviously been agreed, because it did the quoted fee was around £70 million. This is what Manchester United wanted. But I think Inter Milan value him at around £50 million. Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, Conte is expected to be their new current manager, to replace Lucis Bella at Inter Milan, and Antonio Conte has identified Lukaku as his current number 1 target. But like I said, it will be beneficial if we get rid of Romelu Lukaku. Like I said, he did well in his first season with Manchester United. He scored 27 goals in all competitions, of course, but he hasn't replicated that this season. He's a big game battler when it comes to him playing the big teams. His first touch concerns me, his link-up play concerns me, his finishing really concerns me, and I just don't think he's good enough, to currently represent Manchester United. Now, I'll give him credit. His ratio is very good in the Premier League. He has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League, but we do currently need to get rid of him. But as you all do know, a couple of days ago, Inter Milan were reportedly willing to offer him £30 million plus Ivan Perisic as part of the deal. But we don't want Ivan Perisic. Obviously, we know he was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho. Obviously, the main factor reason why we didn't get Ivan Perisic under Jose Mourinho, because Manchester United were not willing to meet Inter Milan's £48 million asking price, and this is the reason why we didn't get a deal over the line for Ivan Perisic. But he's no longer now a Manchester United target, so obviously we're not willing to go along with this. I think he did say if Manchester United are willing to let Lukaku go as part of any swap deal, we are demanding that we want Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar, and this has been reported in the last couple of days. And Milan Skriniar, we do know he's been a long-term target for Manchester United, of course. Obviously, Milan Skriniar is 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. I think he's played about 85 games for Inter Milan. I think he recently signed a new deal with them, so he's under contract with Inter Milan till 2023. I think he's played about 85 games for Inter Milan, but as I said, he has been there a couple of seasons. So it did say Manchester United are interested in Milan Skriniar as part of the deal with Romelu Lukaku. So whether Inter Milan are willing to go along with this or not, I do not know. But as I did currently say, would you think Milan Skriniar would be the right solution for Manchester United? So obviously now it's looking like Lukaku is going to be leaving. Obviously, we're looking for a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, obviously, there has been a lot of talks going on about Moussa Dembele, as you all know from Lyon. And I think Manchester United have inquired about his services quite a few times. I think going back about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Manchester United inquired about Moussa Dembele's services. And recent reports did say Manchester United have put a bid in for him of around I think around 35 or 40 million pounds, because I think he's initially valued at around 40 odd million pounds. Is Moussa Dembele. Like I said, I don't really know much about the player. I know he's only 22 years of age, so he has got a lot of development. He has got a lot of development in him, so he's only very, very young. He's demonstrated this season that he can lead the lines and that he can score goals, and this has only been his first season in France with Lyon, Moussa Dembele's. Obviously, he's a former Celtic player where I thought he did really, really well with Celtic. Obviously, he attracted interest from quite a few clubs, reflecting back, when he was at Fulham, because obviously, he began his senior career with Fulham, did Moussa Dembele. And, so I think he's got a 5-year contract with Lyon. I think he's under contract with them until 2023. So there has been talks about him going on. So do you think he'd be a good replacement for Romelu Lukaku? So there has been talks about him going on. Another problem with Manchester United, as you all know, we've let far too many players their contracts run down, of course. Obviously, Rashford's in the final year of his deal. Obviously, we've not yet come to an agreement to get Marcus Rashford a new contract. Obviously, Juan Mata, of course, he's coming to an end of his contract. I think he's expected, to leave Manchester United, because I haven't really read up much about Juan Mata lately. But recent reports did say that Newcastle have expressed their interest in Juan Mata, and it did say Rafael Benitez, does want to sign Juan Mata. It's uncertain whether Rafael Benitez is still going to be Newcastle manager in the new season. But I think maybe Rafael Benitez is keen on reuniting with Juan Mata, because obviously Juan Mata played under Rafael Benitez, during his time with Chelsea. So maybe Rafael Benitez is keen on reuniting with the player. Obviously, Manchester United have failed, to agree on a contract extension for Juan Mata. I think it did say Man United were willing to offer him a 1 or 2 year extension for him. But like I said, I'd love Juan Mata to stay for at least another season. I think he's been very consistent for Manchester United. Obviously, he's been here 5 seasons now, Juan Mata. I think he's made over 200 appearances for the club in all competitions. I know now he doesn't get in the team and he's used as a squad player, is Juan Mata. So if he was to go to Newcastle, obviously, he would continue applying his trade in the Premier League. But I think also Barcelona have been in talks on getting Juan Mata on a free transfer. So maybe from Juan Mata's perspective, you would want to make the return back to Spain. Obviously, he's Spanish himself. He had a lot of experience of playing in Spain when he was young, with Real Madrid, where he began his career, Valencia for 4 years, where he played under Unai Emery, of course. So maybe he would want to make the return to Spain with Juan Mata. So I do believe he's going to be, definitely leaving Manchester United. As I did say with De Gea, he's got 1 year left on his deal. I definitely think De Gea is on his way out of the club. Obviously, Manchester United have not come to an agreement, to get David De Gea a new contract, as you all know. Obviously, it did say De Gea was demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United if he was to sign a new contract, if he was to commit his long-term future with the club. But reportedly, Manchester United are not willing to meet his current wage demands. Now, we do know David De Gea has been a long-serving player at Man United. He's been at Man United 8 years. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. But we do know that PSG have expressed their interest in him. We do know that Real Madrid have also, been long admirers of David De Gea, but I don't see him going out to Real Madrid. But he did say now PSG are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £60 million. Around £60 million, so they're willing to put a bid in for him of around £68 million. He did initially say that, PSG were willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, and it did also say PSG, were intending on getting him on a free transfer next year, but we wouldn't want to let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year, because that would be a calamity. As I did say, we could get around £60-70 million for him this summer. Obviously, we're not full value. He's worth £100 million for the goalkeeper because he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but like I said, we're not going to get £100 million for him because he's in the final year of his contract. But Manchester United for a very, very long time have been in negotiations of trying to get David De Gea a new contract, but obviously we haven't come to any kind of agreement, of course. So he is in the final year of his contract. Obviously, if De Gea leaves, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on buying a goalkeeper, to replace him, even though there has been quite a few names mentioned. I think we are willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper, for next season if De Gea, of course, leaves the club. And for me, I don't know if Romero's reliable enough yet to become our number one goalkeeper. Dean Henderson hasn't really got the experience yet. He's been on loan with Sheffield United. Obviously, Lee Grant, I think he's expected, to currently leave his Lee Grant. But there has been a few goalkeepers names mentioned, who could replace De Gea. Donnarumma got mentioned in the media the other day. Donnarumma, 20 years of age, very, very tall, got a contract with AC Milan until 2024. Obviously, it did basically speculate that if AC Milan failed to get in Champions League football for next season, then, Donnarumma, could be available. Only 20 years of age. I think he made his debut at just the age of 16, did Donnarumma. So I think he's the youngest goalkeeper to debut in the Serie A, and he made his senior debut at just the age of 16, did Donnarumma. But very, very good shot stopper, and Manchester United have identified him as a possible replacement for David De Gea. And we do know other goalkeepers' names have been mentioned. John Pickford's been mentioned before. John Blanc got mentioned about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So there has been quite a few goalkeepers mentioned who could replace David De Gea at Manchester United. Now, as we all do know, Valencia, is definitely leaving the club, so obviously we're going to need a replacement for him at right back. We're going to need an upgrade to Ash Young. We need a cover up for Diego Dalot. Like I said, Rojo and Darmian are going to be going, so we can get around £30 million for them, so that is very, very beneficial. In regards to Eric Bay, I think he probably will be going, especially if a new centre-back is to come in. That'll put his future in even more of a serious doubt. Eric Bay burst into the scenes very, very well when he came into the Premier League, but I think, based on his fallout with managers and his injuries that he's currently sustained, it's had a really, really bad effect on Eric Bay's career. So I think, it would be beneficial if we can get rid of Eric Bay, even though I do really highly rate him. Talking about Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them new long-term contracts, but they should be gone, in the summer. But they're not obviously, they're both going to be here next season. Smalling and Jones. Comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling's a much better defender, but I just think they've been 2 long-serving players at the club, and I think they do currently need to leave. And talking about Sanchez, it's looking like, Alexis Sanchez is going to be leaving, which is very, very good news indeed. He's going to be leaving. Obviously, we can't get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages, of course. As I said, his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the club. I think he will be playing his trade in Italy next season with Lukaku, will Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, we're willing to let him go on a long-season loan. Obviously, we're willing to pay him half his current wages off, and we'd love to get rid of him permanently, but obviously we can't get rid of him permanently, based on his, substantial amount of wages. Obviously, he's on £400,000 a week, potentially rising up to £500,000 a week, and based on image rights and bonuses and all that, it adds up to around £500,000 a week. But being very inconsistent for Manchester United, definitely one of the problematic players here. Has become injury prone as well, since he's come at Manchester United. He's been in now about 16 months as Alexis Sanchez. So we do know it's Juventus and Inter Milan that have inquired about his services. The other week they held negotiations with Alexis Sanchez's agent, of course. So looking likely he's currently going to be going. That is very, very good news. As already updated you on, there's a lot of midfielders on Manchester United's agenda, as you all know, of course. Idrissa Gueye on Man United's agenda, Declan Rice on Man United's agenda. Yuri Tillemans, of course, has been on Manchester United's agenda. So what midfielders would you recommend, to come to Manchester United? And Joe Felix, a bit more news about him. Now, reportedly, I don't think he knows where his future currently lies. Joe Felix. I think he's unsure at the moment. What he will be doing. Going on into next season. But I think Benfica have blatantly, made it clear. If they are willing to sell him off. Obviously the team's got to obviously meet his 105 million buyout clause. But it did say Manchester United, we're willing to meet his 105 million buyout clause. We're willing to trigger his buyout clause because it did say Manchester United and we have expressed our interest in Joe Felix, and it did say we're willing to trigger his 105 million buyout clause. And Joe Felix, only 19 years of age, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Joe Felix. Obviously, this has only been his first season in the senior squad of Benfica. Obviously, has not yet, made his senior debut with Portugal, but he has been in quite a few teams that have inquired about his services. We do know that City have been in for him. Obviously, Liverpool had a big turn down for him in January. Obviously, Real Madrid have also, been in for Joe Felix. And like I said, primarily an attacking midfielder, can play as a winner, can play as a second striker. So yeah, very versatile, got a lot of goals in him. And like I said, I do believe he can emulate into one of the best players, can Joe Felix. So I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. But they've made it clear, Benfica, they will not demand nothing less than that release clause to be currently triggered if they are willing to do any business for him. But I don't think Joe Felix is yet sure of what he currently wants to do, of course. But he has been on Manchester United's agenda, for a very, very long time. So basically, the main part of this video, was to give you an update on with in regards to the Ligt. It has now taken a twist now. Manchester United have reportedly ruled out a move for Man Utd after positive news being coming out in the last couple of days. Basically saying that Man United are very close to signing. This actually came out yesterday. That was the main headlines. This came out from Gerard Romero, very reliable Spanish journalist. He said Man United were very, very close. And now it's saying Manchester United have opted him out of the race because maybe Manchester United feel as though that he's basically set to join Barcelona, of course. So yeah, maybe according to recent reports now we're set to miss out on Man Utd. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.